Today I'm joined by Waleed Abdulla, founder of Ninua. Good to see you here, Waleed.
Thank you, Martin.
You were here for the last episode. For viewers who didn't watch the last episode, would you give a brief description of what Ninua, your startup, does?
Sure. So we have two products, Symphony at symphonytools.com, which is a social media dashboard for businesses to publish to a lot of social networks at the same time and to listen to what their customers are saying about them on these social networks. And the second is Network the Blogs, which is a platform for bloggers to promote their blog and network with other bloggers. We have about 1.2 million bloggers on it.
Great. So on the last episode, we talked about how you changed business model. And this changing of business model meant that you needed to go after a different customer segment and have a slightly different product. Now, this is a situation a lot of startups face all the time, that we need new features to go after a new customer segment. How did you validate that you were building the right features that these customers needed and liked?
So we had a few insights from our existing product, things that we noticed as we interacted with our users. And then we took that and then we wanted to decide what to do next. We kind of knew we had to do something different, and we had an idea what that might be, but there were a lot of details and a lot of possible directions to take. So we took about a month to create about 25 different business plans. For each one, we would say, what if we do this? And we go after this market, and how will that play out? What are the options for finding customers, monetizing the product? What are the options for getting funding and so on? We created 25 of those, and then we selected the best.
Right.
Yeah. So that was the first step. And then after that, we started building the product. And once we had a version that was, let's say, an alpha version, barely works, we started showing it to people, and we started collecting feedback that way. We showed it to a lot of people, from friends to random people to other potential customers. We collected a lot of feedback and kind of modified the vision accordingly.
And you had a pretty structured approach of how you did this user testing. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
Right. So once we started showing it to people, the first step was show it to your friends. So we have a lot of friends, and we just kind of bug them and say, hey, can you take a look at this product and tell us what you think?
Yeah.
So that was the first phase, and we collected a lot of data and we modified it. Once we felt comfortable with the overall feature set, we went to the next step, which was to show it to real users. So we recruited users to take a look at it, and we'll do a screen sharing session with them for about an hour. We send them the link, they take a look at the product, and they start using it, and we'll just sit there and watch what they do and take notes.
So you're watching what they do. Did you have them come into your office, or did you do it remotely? How did these sessions work?
When we started with friends, we'll just sit next to them. But when we started doing it with other users, we will do a Skype screen sharing session. So they will share their screen, and then we send them the link right before the call, so they don't kind of look at it before the call. And we send it to them, and we just ask them to kind of behave as if we're not there and explore the product and speak their mind. So they would say, I'm confused now, I don't know what to do. Should I click here? Should I click there? And we just listen, and we don't give them any hints. We just kind of take notes that the user was confused in this point, or the user was excited in this point, and so on.
I see. And then, so now you're getting all this great feedback. How do you integrate that with your product development?
So we did this for 60 days. We would have one call every day, and we'll take notes, and then we'll modify the application that same day.
That same day?
That same day.
Oh,
and then we'll have a different user next day to take a look. And then we kind of know whether our changes worked, or is the user still confused about this feature, and so on. So we kept doing that for 2 full months until we felt very comfortable and we started getting really good feedback from users.
So you had lots and lots of little, very, very tight feedback cycles, it sounds like.
Yes. Yeah. So at that point we were trying to validate that the product is well designed and it's easy to understand, and that people cared about the features. So we would have sometimes just fake menus, and we'll see if someone would even click on them, and that will tell us if someone's interested in that thing. And we will have different names for the actions, different names for the menus, different colors, and we're testing how easy and intuitive the app is, and whether people can just use it without someone helping them.
Oh, great. You must have made a lot of changes over those 2 months.
Yes, yes. Yeah. It saved us a lot of time in features that we learned that they were not important. Like, we had a lot of features, like we thought maybe analytics will be important.
Oh, yeah,
and
right.
then
one would think that.
Yeah. And we realized that, okay, very few of our users actually cared. So we decided, okay, let's not build that right away. And then that helped us launch the product sooner.
Oh, great. What were some of the other things you liked on the other side, things that people liked that you hadn't expected?
So there was, we had an option to share your articles to social networks, and we had 2 different ways of doing it. So one of them we called it cross-post, and the other one was share. And there was a little bit of excitement when people see the word cross-post, and they would say, oh, I know what that does. And they immediately assume it takes your post and cross-posts it all over the place. And so we thought, okay, that kind of was interesting. And we started getting the same feedback every day. So we started making that feature more and more prominent, and we started improving it. And then now it's actually one of the most important features in the product, which is something kind of we discovered through these tests that we wouldn't have known otherwise.
Otherwise it wouldn't have happened, right?
Probably.
And it sounds like it's a feature that you might have built, but through user testing you discovered that it was important and how to position it and name it.
Exactly, exactly. And that's very important, especially when you're getting the user seeing your product the first time, the first impression. You want the application to be easy to understand, and you want to make it intuitive so that they don't get frustrated and having to ask you a lot of questions about it.
Great. Well, thank you very much for sharing your experiences with us, Waleed.
Sure, you're welcome.
Hope you found something useful for your startup here. If you have comments on the show, please leave them in the YouTube comment field. We read everything you write. Finally, if you are in a startup, go to developers.google.com/startups and find out how Google can help you. See you next time.